So, but, you know.
I mean, I'm looking at this sitting here and talking with the three of you guys here. This is icing on the cake.
Me too.
I mean,
and learning from you guys, you know.
Yeah. That was illegal.
So all the people around the stadium are parking in the yard because it's too much. They're just walking around the stadium. So we did that, and there was just people around the building sitting there. Inside, we looked in there, and the full bar.
I love it.
Most of the people on the game, because they're just coming in a full prison uniform. On 100, like 4 years later. Next time they come to the game.
Yeah.
They're all epic convincing.
Yeah.
Sneakers. The whole different thing than it would be like a little different.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
sure don't want to leave something sitting here and
No.
have to come back. All right. Have a good day.
Yeah, where are you from, by the way?
Alberta.
Alberta, okay.
How about you?
Yeah, our group is out of New Mexico. Got 3 out of Las Cruces and 1 out of Albuquerque.
What's that? Say that again.
We're 4 out of New Mexico, 3 from Las Cruces, and 1 from Albuquerque.
Oh, so yeah, real combination. Notice that with a number of groups that there's a real combination. It's a great spot for a group of people to
Yeah.
meet, that's for sure. Anyway, have a good day.
You too. Morning. Good.
I don't think any of them fell. No, I think it only lasted probably so. That is
Morning.
Hello. Morning.
Morning.
And Phantom Ranch is on federal land, but it's managed privately. And all their supplies come down to mule trains. All trash goes up to a mule train. But it's managed privately, and the only way that we can go into one of these things, if we get permission, either from the manager, Joni, or we have a visitor that has a permit that we can go in there. You've got two types of cabins that you can rent here. One is a private one that's only your group, or a cheaper rate where you have no idea who the neighbor bunk is going to be, and you just take care of yourself there. Phantom Ranch has 2 evening meals, and again, if my experience has been that you have to get a permit for the meals about a year ahead of time, at least 9 months ahead of time. It's not a regular ranch, except they do have animals here. And the managers live down here pretty much the spring, summer, fall, and always have a group down here. If you want some employment, Anthony, here's a good place, especially where we were talking. We don't want to become a rager here.
Yeah.
10 days down here and then 4 days off, but you got to walk up and down yourself here.
I see Anthony going for it.
So it's right at Phantom Ranch. Here is where the trail goes up to the North Rim, and we just came from our campground, which is on Bright Angel campground here. I just want to say something other than Phantom Ranch. You got Anthony, Jim, and Don here. I couldn't have a better 3 people to be with. I mean, we've had some life-lasting experiences already, wouldn't you think, Don?
I would say, yeah.
And then now, I think the quote of the day of the morning was with Don. I thought I was in shape, then I met the Grand Canyon. and you know, I thought, being the oldest one here, that when I was getting up and it was hard to stand up this morning and aching and pains, and then I saw Jim try to come out of his tent, and he's the you're the youngest, or is Anthony the youngest?
Yeah, he's the youngest by 3 years.
Okay, and they were still moaning and groaning too. But we're gonna continue walking the river route. We're gonna go see Phantom Ranch here. So, Jim, you want to say anything?
Just beautiful down here.
Yes, Anthony.
I still love this place. It's better than I remembered it.
You know, I think so too. There's just
every
something
few
about
steps
this trip.
This opens up where you want to take another picture. It's like a whole new piece of art. Every so many yards you go.
When I came down last night, I was almost hallucinating. I was just so beat up. Then I got out of my tent this morning and looked up, and I said, "This is what it's all about."
Yeah.
I'm glad I came. It's so beautiful down here.
And you know, even though we saw a group of people coming down here, when you compare it to the people that don't even know about the Grand Canyon, we have a exclusive experience by coming down here. And then we sent Jim and Don ahead, and Anthony stayed with me because my left knee started acting up, and they chose a wonderful campsite and then came back up to meet us and help us down. Where do we mail?
To the right of the front door, there's a mailbox.
Four. I do. And then I would like domestic.
Okay. And what else?
Would like lemonade. And what do you have to put on the bacon?
Jelly and peanut butter.
I'll take what kind of jelly?
What kind of jelly?
Yeah,
Strawberry.
I'll take strawberry. Right before you hit the steep part. I think they'll
Very, very powerful. So this is all this telescope.
Yeah, I'm a fan cancel.
Oh, this is only for
Guys, this is fascinating. You can actually see the flares on the surface of the sun. Gas on giant. And not just one flare, multiple flares. Really?
there's a little bit of haze and cloud. It's kind of covering part of the.
think you're right, Jim. There's probably privately. You can see the bridge we're going to go on if you look straight ahead. Oh, this is a corral.
Oh, there's those people here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Uh-huh.
It's fun today, but
Pretty swift current going in there right through there.
Yeah.
So should we just go? Or what do you want to do?
Hey guys.
Go for
Hey.
it.
We would have to be behind you if anyways.
Oh, okay.
So you want to wait until everybody's gone across?
Not necessarily.
It won't take us a while. We're good. Enough. If we had taken the long hike, we would have gone. There's a little unused trail that goes up around there, but it's real. You can see gravel and loose there. We would go in for about an hour, right away where the end of the turn is over there. Then we'd have to come back the same way. Anybody want to get a photo here?
When we get to the middle,
Okay.
I've got my GoPro recording right now.
Oh, okay.
So when the upper cables reach the lowest point, we'll know we're at the middle. When these upper cables reach the lowest point of their dip, that's when we're at the middle.
Oh, okay.
Okay, somewhere right in here would be a good shot for the photo, so
Go ahead, take the picture.
get a, yeah, I'll get a few more seconds with my GoPro.
Feel the bridge swaying.
See, there's a real good angle looking at the rapids from this side.
So we got some eddy currents coming here.
Yeah.
Going around in kind of a whirlpool road. Not quite a whirlpool. Now, Bright Angel Trail goes to the right up there. And then they're going to get of where the rafting area is here. And there's an area that you can get on and swim. Right there, you can trail. Yes, okay. They're gonna turn around there and then they're gonna go up that cliff. Behind this thing? Right. And the first part they'll go to Indian Gardens, which isn't real taxing, but that's something that's really good. After that it goes. Hey, Greg. I mean, yeah, that's first part. But, and then, see, here's some done. Wow. Look at that. Is it better view up here, but if anybody wants to take a picture of the river, or the second tree up there, that's really the distance. Rapid, if anybody knows. again. Okay, Jim, you might want to take a look at this.
Yeah, I'm already got my video going.
Okay.
Beautiful.
In fact, I think just a little further where we
Yeah.
are now, you can see around the first part of the bed. As he comes over the side and says, "Bye, guys."
Could be the sound of a few years. Oh, that hurts so bad.
It does.
Not the time off of it. Nope, don't want to do this. You're grabbing a welder stick. Yeah, it's start carrying two of them now. I just saw one. I lost one.
Hike for 3 more hours?
I'd rather go up and down. No, no. No, that's
Going back up.
It'll be good for your psyche.
That's what these are.
Ash pit, slab, metate. Oh, this is
My name's Raider. I'm a park ranger here. Welcome to Grand Canyon. Welcome to Phantom Ranch. Is it your first time down here, or you've been here? You've been down here before. You guys first
My
time?
first time. First time.
Down here. Okay, very good. You guys, yeah.
no, I've been down here 6 times.
Second night.
How many?
6.
6 times. Very nice. All right. Good for you. It's awesome. And you've been down. No, this is your first time. You're Michigan, right? You're.
No. I've been down since for the last 14 years.
Oh, you've been down the last 14 years. Okay. Yeah. You're from Michigan, right?
I was born in Michigan, but
Yeah.
I live in Mesa.
Oh, you live in Mesa now. Okay. We are going to talk California condors today. It's a really cool story. It's all about, the bird, the ecology, the biology, the adaptations of this bird. This is an ancient New World vulture of the Pleistocene, a relic of the Ice Age that still lives here in the canyon. If you get to see one flying over the canyon, when you're hiking up tomorrow and you're not a birder, become a birder, because you've just seen one of the rarest birds on the planet, the largest land bird in North America. We're going to talk all about that, but it's also a vessel to talk about conservation, because this is one of the greatest conservation stories that we have going still to this day. It could still go south on us in terms of saving a species, and it's a really cool story. It talks about all the cool things that human beings can do if we put our minds to it, and the not so cool things we can do if we're not paying attention and mindful about some of our animal friends. So before we get into all that, I just want to arm you guys with the tools you'll need to identify this bird when you're hiking up the trail tomorrow or the next day or whatever. I want you guys to be able to see it when I'm not around. So this is the California condor we're talking about, this bird here. Let's take a look at some of the adaptations of this bird really quick. It's a vulture, so it's got the red head. You've got the white underneath the wings. Notice where the white is underneath the wings, where its placement is. Notice the big crop, right? That big thing in the throat there. They are vultures, like I said, so they only eat carrion. They got a really infrequent, sort of sporadic food source. So whenever they do happen to get food, they'll gorge themselves and fill this crop with up to 3 pounds of meat.
Wow.
And then eventually they'll eat it, digest it later. So sometimes that's engorged out. If they've got tags, automatically that's going to be a California condor, at least around here. They got these big old tags on them. Big white feet with these vestigial sort of claws, not very sharp claws, but dull vestigial. They used to use them much more often, their ancestors. But that white, their skin isn't white, by the way. Their skin's pink. This is a lovely process they use to cool themselves called urohydrosis. They don't have sweat glands, so they pee and they poop all over their feet. That evaporates, cools them a little bit, and it leaves behind this calcified white stuff on the feet, so that's kind of gross. And then these big, large finger-like feathers. That's a big indicator of a California condor. Do you mind holding something for me real quick? Sure. I want to show you guys. So really quick right here. This is, let's see. Okay, this can be about a big raven, 4 feet or something like that, 4-foot wingspan. Like these are the biggest ravens that we've recorded. Turkey vultures, something like this, pretty impressively, 6 foot long. These are raptors as well, hawks, golden eagles, some hawks, golden eagles, not quite bald eagles, but goldens. This is why the California condor is the largest land bird in North America.
Holy cow.
That is their wingspan right there.
Wow.
It's a 9.5 foot long wingspan. Sometimes they can get a little bit longer than that. And then they can stand as tall as about 4 feet off the ground, something like this if they're fully splayed out. So imagine just like a 9-year-old kid or a 7-year-old kid with a 9.5-foot long wingspan. That's how big these birds are.
Wow.
So I said largest land bird in North America because there are seabirds like pelicans, white albatross, white pelicans, and things that are a little bit bigger. And in 1982, they did this BioBlitz, and basically to count all the California condors that were in existence. And shockingly, the number was 22 birds left in the world, in the wild. And it's like, wow. So they had to come up with a plan pretty quickly. And the trouble with this was that two sides of the argument were both public informers of sort of how we should conserve animals, but they were split on what we should do. One side of the argument was saying, well, we need to take the birds out of the wild immediately, right now, and we need to start captively breeding them systematically because their population is too critically low. We can't trust it. The other side of the equation was saying, no, don't take them out of the wild. If you take them out of the wild, we haven't done the studies to really see and determine how they will react in captivity. If we take them all out of the wild, they could just like die immediately in captivity. What we need to do is instead educate around the area that they're existing, that hey, they're critically endangered, and if they die, at least they don't die in some laboratory somewhere by our own hands. It's like, what do you do there? Well, if you're anything, I mean, both sides, I can see both sides of the argument, right? So it's like, well, let's get a little bit more data. And so there was a piece of crucial data delivered by this couple here, which I'll introduce now, AC9, adult condor 9, and adult condor 8, his wife. The couple, which were two of the last 22 condors in existence, revealed something very important to us. I like telling the rest of the history of this through the eyes of these two lovers here. And in the early 80s, basically what they did, the couple had, they laid an egg, and they don't build nests or anything like that like a regular bird. They basically just fly into a cave, and they sort of wipe the cave clean, the rock on the cave, and then they like, plop the egg just right there, like on the rock itself. So very primeval ice agey type of thing. So they laid this egg, and all the biologists were watching this, right? Because this egg represents a good portion of the total population of these birds. And so all the spotting scopes were on this cave that they were in, and one day the parents got into a little kerfuffle, and they were like, flapping their wings and yelling at each other and all that stuff, and they accidentally knocked this egg off its course, and it started sort of rolling towards the edge of this cave, and all the biologists were saying, no, trying to get it to stop, and it's like, oh, it went there, and it stopped. And everybody's like, whew, all right, is it good? Is it okay? Yeah, it's all right. Well, they were relieved only momentarily, because then the egg was revealed, and this is just an example, but a cheeky raven came by and busted open that egg and destroyed the egg, and all the condor biologists were like, oh no, because again, significant portion of the population was just destroyed by this little raven getting some lunch. And but this sacrifice that they made revealed something very interesting to the biologists that they had a hunch about, but they couldn't confirm until this happened. Basically, what happens is that if they lose an egg, the female goes back into gestation, produces another egg. It's called double clutching. And then if they lose that egg, they can even, there's been documented cases of triple clutching, doing it again. So all the biologists were like, okay, well, we've got our solution. All we got to do is they lay an egg, and we tap them on the shoulder, say, look over there, and we grab the egg, and don't destroy the egg, and now you got 2 eggs for the price of 1, 3 eggs for the price of 1, right? And so you can triple the population like really quick. So we're like, okay, let's take them all out of the wild and start systematically doing triple clutching like with every egg. And so they start taking them out of the wild, and AC9 and AC8 are 2 of the last 5 birds in the wild, 1985. And put them in places like LA Zoo, Portland Zoo, San Diego Zoo, Boise, Idaho, Peregrine Fund, start captively breeding them. Now, if you're paying very close attention, there's a problem that emerges, right? You've got ordinarily 2 parents that raise 1 chick for 2 years. Well, now you got a lot more eggs and chicks than you have parents to raise them. And so that was a problem. And so I don't have my prop with me now because we only got one of them on the South Rim because it's an actual prop from these zoos. But it's basically a big arm puppet with a condor head on the very end, and a significant portion of these birds are raised by these puppets. Canyon at the conference was like, ooh, we're like us in the back. And they said, calm down. They said, you know, we need a place that was their original habitat. And we said, look, California condor's been here for tens of thousands of years. We have direct evidence of this. And they said, yeah, but we need a place that has a lot of caves. And we said, look, Grand Canyon has more caves than any other national park. This place is made of caves. And they said, yeah, but we need a place that has a lot of open spaces. And we just kind of rolled our eyes, and they're like, okay. And so we got to release them in 1996 up in Vermilion Cliffs, like on the way up to Zion, Utah, or Bryce Canyon, Utah. And even to this day, in September, we released these birds up on this place called the Vermilion Cliffs. There's a big release pen up there. And in September, when we do release the birds, this big BLM road is just lined with cars and spotting scopes, all looking at these condors being released into the wild. Well, in 2000, AC8, our female of our counterparts here, was released in California. She got a tag put on her, big GPS tag, radio telemeter actually back in the day. And these put out these signals, and then you can use radio telemetry and like know where they're at, who they are, where they are, all that.
We'll go to the other side here.
Let's just sit still. Maybe he'll come on.
Yeah.
Right there. Come on. Come on. This is your land. We're okay.
Waiting for the rest of them to catch up.
Yeah, we just be quiet here. Here comes the baby, yeah. Hey, come on, you're okay.
Come on. Waiting for the rest of the family to catch up.
You're okay, come on. Should we walk back that way?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Why don't we walk back? I've got this on video too.
See, there's some mules in the corral there. Come on, girl. Come on. You're okay. Come on.
Come on.
Here, let's get off a little further. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Come on, little one. Come on, little one. Oh my goodness, let's go there. Come there.
Oh, looks like our water is boiling now.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah.
Out there in the living room. And for the weekend, they'll take the jet. That's for the weekend.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they work.
Yeah. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Uh-oh, did you drop something?
Yeah, I got my hot chocolate sitting over on the side of the steps over there.
Oh, you'll have that. That's okay. What can I get for you?
Hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. You got it.
I lose my head if you look at that.
And I want to welcome you guys to Grand Canyon National Park. Welcome. If you haven't been welcomed by the Park Service or anybody, welcome to you. Welcome to Phantom Ranch. How many is your first visit to the national park? I think I can see your hands if you show hands. A little bit here. Okay, nice. How about Phantom Ranch itself? Okay, a little bit more. Awesome. Well, I always start my talks off by saying, of all the people who visit the Grand Canyon, every year, 6 million people a year, only 5% of people take one step below the rim of the canyon. And average visitation is about 3.5 hours. Yeah, and so, you know, and those counters are right there on the rim of the canyon, right at the first step. So if you take that one step in, you like I say, you're in the 95th percentile of people who have hiked Grand Canyon, like technically speaking. But you have incentive to come down here because 1% of people make it down here. And so that's very special, and I congratulate you getting down here. Of course, it's only half the job. The big hike starts when you get out. It's an inverted mountain. That's what Kaibab means, by the way. Kaibab means
Really?
mountain
Okay.
upside down. And it's a Paiute word from the Paiutes on the north, right? And so it's a weird psychology here. You do the easy part first and the hard part second. Going up Bright Angel Trail, water zone at Havasupai Gardens. It is off at 3 Mile Rest House, 1.5 mile rest house. So, you know, 2 to 3 liters from here to Havasupai Gardens is a good idea, and then filling up and going 2 to 3 liters out is a good idea. So just FYI, if you guys got any questions on any of the hiking logistics, or if you're doing a different route, atypical route, just let me know and we can talk about that after the program. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about the stars. And I didn't introduce myself. My name is Raider Lane. I'm a park ranger here, and I like to say I'm a park ranger by day and a dark ranger by night. It's so dark here, and I got a funny name, Raider. So with my fun laser pointer, people know me around here as Darth Raider. So this is what I'm going to use to show you guys the sky and show you everything. You guys can see that all right, right? Okay, good. So,
you shot that one out!
Oh, you guys see a nice shooting star? Nice.
Shut down the satellite.
Oh, I shot down a satellite with a laser beam.
Talent.
Awesome. I want to introduce you guys to this night sky. You know, statistically speaking, 80% of people nowadays can't see the Milky Way from their home anymore because of this light pollution problem. So a lot of people have become a little bit disconnected from the night sky. There's a lot going on up here. And so I want to sort of introduce the night sky orientation to you guys, make you feel a little bit home under this so you can take it back to any other dark sky park or your community, hopefully commune with the night skies and have a little bit more knowledge about how to navigate it. So to start off, we want to start with the star that's not the closest one, it's not the brightest one in the night sky, but it's certainly important for all things Northern Hemisphere. That's going to be the North Star right here. So this guy right here. So you can see it's not like the brightest star. It's kind of a humble little star right there, but that's our North Star. You can see it's a benefit. Those set of constellations that are really close around the North Star. Now, one of them is what the North Star is part of itself, the constellation Ursa Minor, the Little Bear. So you got this star and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a very dim constellation. Again, you can kind of see it if you use averted vision, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There might be a little tiny bit of residual cloud haze from this evening, but that is a circumpolar constellation that you can understand. Like, as all these stars, for example, spin. So through the night, like this star, in about an hour, it's going to be like right here. And it's going to be triangle right there. You see that? Yeah. Bright star. It kind of looks like a upside down doghouse or something like that. Now this is a time of year where you can look at these constellations and the night sky through many different lenses. I love looking at the night sky through various lenses. What I mean by that is you can look at it through the lens of mythology, say. You can look at it through the lens of science or history. Or I really like looking at it through the lens of what's called etymology, the origin of star names, for example. So I want to give you an example of that using what's known as the Andromeda Suite, which is up right now. It's a set of constellations that form the Andromeda story, one of the oldest stories in the night sky, written in the night sky, codified in writing. handed down from the ancient Greeks. And we got a bunch of the players up right now, so I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So we were talking about Cassiopeia, right? So that's Cassiopeia. It starts with her. She's the vain Ethiopian queen who once boasted to these water nymphs. They're called the Nereids, the daughters of Poseidon in the ocean. She said, I'm the fairest in the land. I'm the most beautiful in the land. And they were really famous for their beauty, so they didn't take too kindly to that. They go and they tell their father, Poseidon. Poseidon sends out this whale monster, Cetus. And Cetus is just barely kind of cracking over the horizon. So we're not going to point so much of him out right now. Again, the local horizon's kind of obscuring us, but he's just like over here a little bit. But he sends this whale monster, Cetus, barreling towards Cassiopeia and Cepheus, remember the king, their island, or their kingdom off the coast of Ethiopia. Okay, so Cepheus is really scared by this. He goes up to Poseidon and he appeals to Poseidon, what can I do to stop this from happening? And Poseidon says, well, you got to either sacrifice your kingdom, all the people in it, or I'll accept sacrifice of your daughter Andromeda. And so he's thinking about it, and he goes, I got to be the king here, and I got to sacrifice my daughter for the sake of everyone else. And so Andromeda, which starts here, those three main stars there, that's kind of like on the other side of this sort of dim area of the sky. Cassiopeia is kind of staring at her here. These three stars. Now, you can see those are the three main stars. I call that kind of the backbone, but there are other stars too. So that's her head, comes down to these stars, and then she's got another set of stars comes down like this. You see that? Very dim set right there. So it kind of, you can see it's like sort of a long like gown she's wearing. And then she's also got a few very dim hands flailing this way and one arm coming out this way. She is depicted in the sky here, chained to a rock, because, you know, Cetus is barreling towards her. She's on the coast of Ethiopia and she's about to be sacrificed. Now, just in time, the hero of the story arrives. His name's Perseus. Perseus is rising in our northeast as well. So this is Perseus. Kind of looks like a banana peel a little bit. And there he is. So Perseus, you can see, it's got his mere fact, the heart of him here, and then this is a star called Algol, the demon star. Algol means the ghoul. And in this particular constellation, it's Perseus holding the head of Medusa. Because remember, he had just gone on his own whole epic journey himself. He had slayed the Gorgon Medusa. Remember her? She's got the snake hair, and if she looks at you, what happens? She's turned to stone, right? Absolutely. And so he had devised a plan to cut her head off, and there she is. Her eye is right there. I'm going to come back to that too, because that's important. That very star. So he's riding atop of another constellation in the sky. This big square right here. This is Pegasus. So it's also known as the fall square. And you can see that's the body, the front body of the horse. Then his neck comes out here, and there's his head. And then two legs come out here, and it's only half of the body. It's half of the body, so it's only half. Now note, I did say this is part of the Great Square and Andromeda. It's the head of Andromeda. We're going to return to that, all right? But, so they share a star right there. Now, Pegasus is said to have been born from the blood of Medusa and the foam of the sea. And so here, Pegasus is arising, is like sort of arriving out of the ocean in the night sky here. And so Perseus is riding on top of him, and they go down, they meet with Cepheus, and they say, hey, I'll rescue your daughter if I could marry her. And he says, yes, of course. And so then he goes down, he rescues Andromeda from Cetus. Now, right, classic tale, right? Damsel in distress type of thing. Very, very old story though. I mean, that's the really cool thing about that, is that this little story is just like multiple thousands of years old.
What I feel like. Not me. I'll see what they have. Pretty much the same thing they have. Like the side view.
You can't find my glasses. You can't find them tonight.
Yeah.
They're on your head. Of course they are.
Right.
Anything else for you? Chocolate chip cookie? Sure. No. Cream cheese, jelly, peanut butter, all, none, or any of those? Cream cheese, sure. Well, we don't have those. If it's too Alfredo, I can put it in another cup if you want. And you said bagel and cream cheese?